Okay, good morning. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here at Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi. We're located in Yerushalayim, Yer Kodesh, in the Beit Knesset of Hanukkah Yeshiva on the Kodesh Yaakov number 6, not too far from the central bus station. This is our second shir today, and Mishna Berura, or Chaim Siman Kuf Vav. We're just learning about those who are putted from Tefillah, V'nu Shemona Esrei, and we're discussing now the point about women, what their obligations are. It's worthwhile to review. That's in the middle of Sifkat and Dalid. Okay, I guess in the beginning of the wide line. You have the wide line there. It says there. Beginning with the 3 lines up from the wide line. Avodas Rambam. Mikri mitzvahs tefillah hi midivrei sofrim. Shem anshe knesses gedolah tiknu yud ches brachas al seder. V'spalo also shachris mincha. That we should daven them shachris and mincha. Choiva. And arbis mariv is rishus. Okay, yeah. You can pick up right there right in the beginning of the first wide line. Afal P.
Afal P. And even though shehu mitzvahs aseh.
Yaakov, you have it there?
I'm not sure where. Hold on.
Okay, in the Mishna Berura.
Yes.
It's on the opposite page, the left-hand page, so by the wide lines. The beginning of the wide line. Afal P.
I have it.
Okay.
Even though it's a positive commandment, midivrei sofrim, according to the words of the
Be the Ramban.
the writers.
Yeah. Well, it's we did for something. The resource. Good.
Shehazman grama. It is time bound.
Right.
V'hanashim and women, the Turos, are exempt. Mikol mitzvahs aseh shehazman grama. Women are exempt from these commandments. Afilu, even mi divrei sofrim, according to the words of the scribes. Kigo, for example, kiddush halavana, kiddush halavana, the blessing of the new moon.
Yeah. Just by the way, this Motzi Shabbos we should have the first opportunity to say kiddush halavana. After the Ma'ariv Motzi Shabbos should be an opportunity to say kiddush halavana.
Now, you have 2 weeks to say that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So why is it Bazman Grama?
Because it's at a specific time. It could be it doesn't have to be at a specific point in time, but it could be a specific period in time. It could be a specific period in time. Just like the Sfiras Omer. Sfiras Omer is also a mitzvah saseh Bazman Grama. It comes only during that 49-day period between Pesach and Shavuos.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Afal P came, even so, Hebrew Osan. It's an obligation upon them. B'tefilas shacharis, for to daven shacharis, umincha and mincha, kamo anashim, and like men.
Right, so women, even though they are in fact patur for mitzvah saseh mizman grama, even medivri sofrim, nevertheless, they have a chiyuv of shachris and mincha, just like men do. Why?
Ho'il, since utefila he bekashas rachamim. Tefillah is what's bekashas?
The requests of mercy.
Oh, because it's request of Hashem. The Cain Ikar, and this is the essence.
The essence of tefillah is that it's bekashas rachamim, that we supplicate HaKadosh Baruch Hu for His mercies upon us. That's the primary aspect of prayer.
And what? So that takes it out of being Bisman Grama?
Yeah, even though it's a mitzvah bisman, a mitzvah medivir sofrim bisman grama, nevertheless, since they need this as well, right? It overrides the general rule of the patur of mitzvah bisman grama. You have this also in other cases. You have why you could ask why do they have to listen to Mikra Megillah? Mikra Megillah is also a mitzvah saseh b'divrei sofrim b'divrei Kabbalah. It's a mitzvah saseh bisman grama. It only comes during Purim. So why? Because they were also saved by a Kadosh Baruch Hu at the time. They were also betocha next. They were in that miracle as well. So therefore, sometimes you'll find overriding reasons why specific mitzvahs saseh bisman grama, the Rices or the Rabbanans, they'll also be obligated.
I see. Therefore, Das Rove, the understanding of the majority poskim of the poskim.
Yeah, Kichein in this case is not sometimes ki can mean because it says Kichein for, here it means for, Chein, so is the das of the opinion of majority of poskim. Kichein in this case is since
so is
right.
Or perhaps according to?
Well, that would be kiddas. That would be a chafa dimyan. Kichein for chein so is the opinion of many poskim. But yeah, sometimes you can see it like that. Yeah, sometimes he is a dimyan.
The chein and so is hichriya the sefer sha'agas aryeh, and also it's the opinion of the
actually like the decision, and so is the decision
of the decision
as is in the sefer shagas aryeh.
Al Kain, therefore, yesh, there is lahaz here lenashim she yispalalu shemona esrei.
So
therefore, there is a I don't know what has here lahaz here is.
Therefore, it is to warn or advise the women. Right?
Women, that they should pray Shemona Esrei.
Right? Women should be taught and told that they should, and they have the obligation to say Shemona Esrei. Chakras and
Mincha.
Yes.
In Nachon, and it's correct, Gam Kain, also here, Sheyikablu Alehem, that they should receive upon themselves Omochus Shemayim, the yoke of the kingdom of heaven.
Right, that's
the hayinu, that it is she yomru, as they say, al kol panim. That's a phrase.
Yeah.
Al kol panim.
Okay. So it's not when it's proper also that they accept upon themselves the yoke of heaven. The hayinu, what does that mean to accept upon themselves the yoke, the rule of heaven? Hainu, that means shiyomu, that they should say al kopanim, they should say at least al kopanim, they should say at least Shema Yisrael. They should at least say the Shema Yisrael. Now, whether that includes just the first verse, right, the first paragraph, all three paragraphs, that's another thing. But they should say, right, Shema Yisrael.
And is that twice a day? Once
in the day, once in the night. Right. Correct.
Kedisa the Siman Ayin, as it is in section Ayin.
Right, we're in Kuf Vav, right, 106, and that's in Siman Ayin 70. That's
so it's already been said earlier.
36 sections before.
What page are you again?
Excuse me?
What page are you on?
Well, on when Sif, page Shin Ayin Tet.
Vayomaru Gam Kain, and they say also, Birkas, the blessing, MS, the Yatsi.
That's the paragraph following the Shema, right? That's the
That's
paragraph
right.
following the Shema. But and so then that's a reference, right? That's a reference that for Shacharis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and at the paragraph following the Shema in Ma'ariv was Emes Ramuna, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Right.
So that's this was referring to the Shacharis, but imagine if it would be okay. That remains to be seen. It depends why, right? Why should they say Emes V'Yatziv, right? Right. We have to understand why they should say Emes V'Yatziv, and then we'll have to be able to, if that reason applies equally to the paragraph Emes V'Amuna for Ma'ariv.
I would think that since they're not obligated in Ma'ariv,
They're
that
not
would be the
going
reason why they wouldn't say.
So the question was that you asked 2 minutes ago was what about Shema? Should they're not obligated in Ma'ariv of Shmon Esrei, right? But what about Kabbalah Sol Mokus Shemayim of Shema? And if so, do they have is there a thing to say? What should they? And in fact, should they say Emes V'Amuna?
Right. Is that included in the process of the receiving the yoke?
Right. It might be enough that they just say Kriya Shema Lamita, like when they sleep and you see that.
That is what I think my wife does.
Probably, most
She
likely.
says it before she goes to sleep.
Most likely. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Today, in order lismoch, to bring close,
To make it to connect.
to connect, geula, the redemption, litfila, with prayer.
Right. You want to have that bracha of Emes V'Yatziv, which concludes with Gal Yisrael. You want to have the Gula mentioned just before you start your Shmon Esrei. So that, if that's the reason, so now we have the answer. If they're not going to be davening Shmon Esrei of Ma'ariv, there's no reason that they should have a Smikas Gula Tzavila. Right. So therefore, they don't have to say Emes V'Amuna.
Right.
That's our answer.
Kemo, like Shekasav, it is written, Hamagen Avraham, by the Magen Avraham, the Simon Ayin, in section Ayin, same as we did before. No, that was not the same author though.
Right.
Just a coincidence.
Good.
Yechol Zeh, in all of this, Inyan, the subject is the subject Shacharis. All of this,
this is
the subject of Shacharis, Umincha, and Mincha.
Right.
So therefore, you just can't answer the question again.
Right.
It doesn't apply to Mari.
Very good. Good.
Aval, Tefilas Arvis, but concerning Mariv, Shehu Rishus, that it's optional, Af al Pi, even though She'ach Shav, that now, Kerov, the majority, Kibluhu, they received Alehem upon themselves, Kol Yisrael, Lechova.
Yeah.
For obligation.
Yeah. That's Afal Pi Sha'akshav Kavar. Right? Afal Pi Sha'akshav Kavar Kibluhu Alehem Kol Yisrael Lechova, even though that now it's already been accepted upon them, all of Israel, all the Jews, as an obligation. Meaning originally Ma'ariv started out originally as a Rishus.
Right.
But in our time it's already been established that everyone's obligated in Ma'ariv as a full-fledged obligation.
So that's women and men.
Oh, so we'll see about in more Makom Makel. Now we talk about that's men. Now what about the
men.
women?
Okay, that makes more sense. Mikol Makom, in any case, Hanashim, the men, lo
The women.
Oh, Hanashim, the women, lo Kiblu Alehem, did not accept upon themselves the Ruban Ein Mis Palalin Arvis. What's the Ruban?
That's majority. I mean,
the majority have not do not pray Arvis.
yes.
Okay, for women. Utefilas Musafin. Here's what.
Good. Yeah.
And concerning Musaf, Bitzlach.
Right.
What is that abbreviation? person?
It's a sefer. The abbreviation, I'm not sure. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, according to the Bitzlach, Kasav is written Dif-turos.
That they're exempt.
They're exempt.
Israel, is that you? Yeah.
Aval, but the Sefer Magen Giborim, in the book Magen Giborim, Pasach, de Chayvos. What's Pasach?
He decides.
He decides that they are obligated.
Right. So you have the opinion of the tzlach that they're putter, women are putter from Musaf.
Right.
However, then Lashon Avo, usually Lashon Avo is a decision being made by the Mishna Berura, and he's reading the opinion of the Magen Avraham, who argues on the tzlach, who said the women are putter. The Magen Avraham argues and says, in fact, the women are obligated, and that seems to be the this final decision of the Mishna Berura.
What is this Ayin Sham?
Right, you
See there.
take a look in the Magen Avraham. If you want, Magen Geburim. Take a look at the Magen Geburim in his decision, not like the women are in fact obligated in Muslim.
Is that a general clause that the last opinion that he cites is
It's not so hard and fast, but when it's prefaces with a lashon avo, then that usually is the final decision of the Mishna Berura. Yeah. But not always is the final opinion if it's just brought down equally, a statement of two opposing opinions. The first one not necessarily has any more greater weight, or the second one doesn't necessarily have any greater weight.
Okay, so then this is a conclusion.
Yeah.
According to the Mishna Berura.
The apparent conclusion of the Mishna Berura is that women are obligated in Muslim.
Okay. All right.
Oh, now we'll just go back up to the Mechaber, the last 4 or 5 words of the Mechaber. Ketanim hagiu lechinuch, children which have reached the age of training, education, in the Mechaber.
Mechaber is here.
Yeah, that'll be Ketani.
Ukutanim, got it. Shehigiu lechinuch chayavi. And so children that are the age of education are obligated in Musaf?
No, this will be Tefillah, not necessarily Musaf, Tefillah, Shmon Esrei. Whether they're obligated in Musaf is not. Let's see the Mishna Berura. Sifkat and Hey in the Mishna Berura, you're obligated, the father is obligated to educate the children.
He's Palalel Shmon Esrei, to pray the Shmon Esrei, Erev Voker, evening and morning.
And so evening, I'm not sure if this is evening meaning Meyer, because, and what about Mincha? Right. No, it's a difficult expression here in the Mishna Berura. What would Erev Voker, meaning Ma'ariv is really Ma'ariv they're really, even though we've accepted upon us as a chayva, but really it's Rishus, right?
Right.
So for children to be taught about that, I'm not sure if it's absolutely necessary. But what happened to Mincha?
Right.
Unless it's just using the generic expressions, Boker meaning morning, Erev meaning in the evening, which could possibly include both Mincha and Ma'ariv. Very common all over. Many congregations daven Mincha and Ma'ariv back to back.
Right.
So it could just mean Erev, meaning in the evening. They should be taught to pray in the morning and the evening, meaning at the end of the beginning of the day and the end of the day. But he's really meaning Shachas, Mincha, and Ma'ariv. But it's not exactly
I know
clear.
in my children's school, the school that went up to 8th grade, they used to daven Shachris and Mincha.
Wow.
Not Ma'ariv. They would daven Mincha like at 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that.
Right. Well, usually that unless in the winter time when Ma'ariv could possibly be davened, say at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
They weren't in school.
They weren't in school when Ma'ariv. So first it was not practical.
Right.
And here we're talking about that the father, the Yeah, it doesn't say much about specifically about the father, but yeah.
Umikol makom, and in any case, Rishui, it's proper,
Permitted, it's permissible.
permitted, latain lahem, le'echol kodem tefilas shachris, that they can eat before they daven shachris. V'asur la'anosam, la'anosam. I don't know what that is.
That's from Inuit. It's forbidden to oppress them. Meaning, afflict them, oppress them. Right?
Right. Children need to eat.
Yeah, they're getting ready to go to. You feed them usually classically. You feed them before they go to davening, before they go to school, whatever. They haven't davened yet. They'll learn to daven when they get to school or whatever. You teach them what, you can't. They're hungry. You should get fed.
Right.
Whether you should train them not to eat, that's not mentioned here, right? There is such a thing not to eat before you daven.
Right.
But that's not mentioned. We're not going into that aspect of it. But all we're saying is, it's permissible because they're not Gil Bar Mitzvah yet, so they're not obligated. You're only training them to say Shema. You're only training them to say Shemona Esrei. Training them to pray, but you're not obligated to train them not to eat before the prayers. And you should not, as you shown, oppress them and make them suffer.
Kamo shikasuv, as it is written, the Siman Resh Samach Tet, the smog. That's another Siman.
The smog is the name of a sefer.
So it's like in that sefer, in the smog.
Yes, right.
The inyan,
That's actually abbreviation. That's smog, shin mem gimel, or samech mem gimel. That's sefer mitzvahs gadol.
For the subject, the ha'achilan of eating kodem kiddush, before kiddush.
Mm-hmm.
It's safer even though it's a shin? I'm sorry.
Let's see, 1 second. Let me.
Seems like
One second.
a
Oh, no, 1 second.
it's another Siman thing.
1 second. What happened here? No, but Siman, I'm sorry. You're right. Siman Reish Samek Tes. Siman, it's also Siman Shin Mem Gimel. There are two Siman there. Right. Sorry. You're right. Correct.
Okay.
So it's the Indian. You want to know about. We just were taught that they have to be taught about davening Shmon Esrei, and they can be, even though they're being trained to daven Shmon Esrei. You can still feed them before their Shmon Esreis. What about eating before Kiddush, right? So you want to see about the children eating before Kiddush, you should take a look at Reish Samek Tes and Siman Shin Mem Gimel, and learn more about giving the children to eat before Kiddush on Shabbos. That's another subject.
Now, one time I was a guest at a house of the people who went to Chabad,
Okay.
and they ate on Shabbos morning before they left for shul.
Right.
Is that wrong according to this?
It depends really what they do before then. It really there's there are different minhagim, but the halacha is that really you're not supposed to eat before you pray. What's considered praying, maybe it's sufficient to say brachos.
Yeah, I was going to ask that next.
Yeah.
Maybe he said brachos privately before.
Yeah,
Before I saw him.
it's quite possible that's what they do.
Because he can usually start at home.
Yeah, right. So
They haven't been home
right. If they're saying, and they should say Shema, because Zman, you have to be careful with the Zmanim of the davening as well. But
It wasn't that early.
yeah.
I think shul started at 8.
Yeah.
8?
8 o'clock.
That's early for Hasidim.
No, but I'm saying it's not anywhere near the time have to start davening.
Yeah.
He could have gotten up at 6, and he could have spent an hour before I got up. I didn't ask him at the time because I was
Yeah. Well, there is a widespread custom to eat before the davening, but Shabbos particularly, if you have once you've davened Shacharis, so now you have a chiyuv of Kiddush b'makom Suda, certain specific requirements of Kiddush b'makom Suda, and basically if the davening is going to start on the late side, you might even be fasting, considered to be fasting on Shabbos, because it's close to midday on Shabbos and things like this. But there are customs where they eat before, and people say they're weak, they need to eat and things like this. But L'katchila, you should daven, because you really shouldn't be eating anything before you daven. But again, if necessary, and if you said brachas, then it can be a little bit more lenient.
I can give you somebody I know in Boca used to wait on Hasidic Sherebi in the hotel in the Catskills.
Yeah.
And they all came in before davening to have coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
On Shabbos.
Yes, sir, yeah. Again, hopefully they've said brachas.
Usually if they accept brachas.
So, okay, we'll take a little break. Thank you. Yeah, that's enough for the start. Thank you very much.
Do you want some?
Okay, we'll take a little break and we'll continue.